All right, it's still good to have you. It's your Good Morning Anambra show, and this is the final segment of the show. And we're glad to be here to talk about, or rather, to celebrate our fathers. Yesterday, as you know, is International Day for Fathers. And we're here this morning to talk about them, to celebrate them.
I mean, you should start celebrating me.
Let me begin with all the fathers in ABS. At least we have the MD, he's a father.
He is.
Mm-hmm. We have so many of them.
So many of the fathers.
Our producer is equally a father. We have Roy Ekunife that's out there. Many of them. Let's begin. And we have our guest in the studio this morning is equally a father. So, I nekele Chineke na inyanyi ndenna. So, n'ụtụtụ anyị ga-aghọta enwelo ihe a sị na mkpụrụkpụ okwu ebu n'obi wee na isiokwu ebu n'obi
nna nke na-egosi ezigbo ihe ilere anya n'ụmụ ya.
Nna a ga-enelu nwa anya
ṅomili ife niile ọ na-eme mgbe ụmụ ya niile a na-asị na nna ha ọkwa n'ezigbo mmadụ, ọ naghị atụ asị, ọ naghị aghọ aghụghọ, ọ naghị eme ụmụ ife dịgasị iche iche nke na-eme ụmụazị ka ha bụrụ ndị a na-abụọ.
Quickly let you know what the Bishop Ezofo told fathers as they celebrated this year's Father's Sunday. But before we do that, we have a guest in the studio who is going to help us to celebrate fathers this morning. He is no other than Honorable Hubert Oragui. Honorable, we're glad to have you in the studio.
Good morning.
Norine Dalo Isonilai.
Dalo.
Amamna Obidigo Todika Ndena celebrated their day yesterday. How do you feel?
Well, I felt quite happy because at least my children and my wife, they celebrated me as the father and the head of the family. So it was one day to remember, yes.
Okay, one of the statements...
Sorry, before we really go into that, there was a clip that was supposed to...
That's what I want to cite.
Okay, okay.
One of the critical points he mentioned, he said they should be pastor of their various families. When we talk of a pastor, so I said that parents, or rather fathers, should be pastor in their various families. How do you think that is achievable?
Well, I think being a pastor is all encompassing. It is not just about ikuzi for basalo no kama for basalo chineke. But now it's about nurture the entire family, especially the children. Nurture offer through the narrow path to the promised land, so to say. So being a pastor is something even as a father. It's not just providing food, shelter, and clothing. It now goes beyond that. Because so many fathers say they went and so on and so forth. So that bonding, there, let's say in time past, but now it's totally different. Fathers should now make out time. That is what I believe the bishop is talking about. Make out time to spend time with the children, quality time, so that can be close even as time goes on.
Now, who truly is a father? Because I don't know if it's just you can just be a father to your biological children, or can you be father to people beyond your own biological children? Let's really know who a father is.
A father is not just a man that gets a woman pregnant. It goes beyond that. A father is that person that provides love, food, shelter, and clothing to anybody at all. There doesn't have to be a biological relationship between you and someone for you to be a father to the person. For as long as you play that fatherly role towards that person, then you become a father. Like there are so many people who are, and with so many single mothers who need the help of men to bring up their children. For as long as you give that help, of course, without expecting anything in return, then automatically you're a father to those children. Again, then with so many motherless babies' homes, for as long as you make provisions for them, automatically you are a father to them. And then when it comes to your own biological children now, that is where you now make out proper time. Because like I said before now, so many men, what they do is to bring food home. That's all they do. But today, it should go beyond that. The father is that man that spends time with the family, quality time I'm talking about. You know.
One of the advice given to fathers by the bishop is asking them not to abandon their responsibility to their wives. That is prevalent in our society. You find out that some men, some fathers, everything is the wife that is taking care of it. Talking to the children, bringing food home, and the rest of that. So now I advise that parents and fathers should not abandon responsibilities. Do you look at it from that point that it's...
well, yes. There are some fathers that have due to their circumstances. Again, we have to look at the circumstances. When a father is jobless and there's no income, you would expect that the woman will step up while the man is looking for a job. It becomes bad when the man now lies down and starts lazing around at home without going out there to fend for something. But for as long as the man is working, it is his natural duty to provide food, shelter, and clothing. The woman should be a helpmate and not the major player in this. You know, even if the woman is earning more than the man, for the man to retain his position as the priest of the house, as the head of the house, he has to make provision for his wife and his family. And as soon as you drop that position, as soon as you stop providing for your family, then you will take the second place. The woman becomes in charge.
All right, I was actually in a seminar last Thursday because fathers had a 1 week longer program, to celebrate their day yesterday. And look at, let's see what is going on here, before these are whites. Do you think a Nigerian father will sit this way to feed a child? Do we have it around here?
Before now, we didn't have it.
We didn't have it.
But I would say that in recent months, people are beginning to wake up to that. Because if you look back, you find out that our age, our generation, what we do is that we tend to look after our mothers more than we look after our fathers. And that is because from the word go, that always been the mother that has done that sort of bonding. If you know what I'm trying to say. So I come home now and I buy a wrapper and I give my mother 100,000. And then I turn around and give my father a bottle of schnapps and a walking stick. Believing that, well, he didn't look after me after all.
Could that be the reason?
Yeah.
Really?
In the subconscious, it is there. You got the tender loving care from your mom. But that must have been because our fathers are always out at the crack of dawn and they walk till chickens go to roost. So they didn't have time actually to do this kind of bonding. So in our mind, from the word go as children, we have this belief that it is our mothers that has been making that provision. If you get what I'm trying to say. Again, so women actually capitalize on the fact that the man is not there. Even when you give money to your wife to give to the children for one thing or the other, they give to the children and they never refer to their father to say that it was my dad that did this. Yes. So women do that intentionally, some unintentionally. So we grew up with that feeling that it's our mother that has been looking after us.
Now, there's something that you say that is so striking here. When you talk about that you're then and now, I want us to really look at fathers in the 80s, in the 70s, compared to fathers now, that we can actually get the picture we saw where a father is feeding a child that is obtainable now in our society. What can you say? How do you compare the fathers of those years and today?
Well,
especially now that the society is so in a haze, people trying to make ends meet, everywhere is fast, and you say we can get this in a society today.
The fact is that these days men are beginning to come to that consciousness that it is not just about leaving money for children to feed and to go to school. It goes beyond that for you to be a real father. Let us say that in those days, the circumstances made it in such a way that there was this long distance marriage. So the man is in Meduguri, driving a lorry, while the woman is in the village somewhere in Newi or for argument's sake. But now people marry and they live with their wives and children. And so the onus is now on men. And a lot of us are beginning to find out, like I said, in the end, you find out that when you're old and knackered, your children tend to look after their mothers more than their fathers. And then when you trace that down, it is because they had this bonding with their mothers, which they never had with their fathers. So now that we're coming to that consciousness, we are beginning to actually, I go to the park with my children even when their mom is at work. I've seen so many men now. I used to say that I breastfeed my children.
Really?
Yes. So that I breastfeed my children, because in those days where I live, 2 months into having a baby, my wife will go to work and then she will express milk into bottles and put it in the fridge. So it is now my duty to use that breast milk to feed my little girl or my little boy. And then somebody rings me from Nigeria and I say, listen, I'm breastfeeding, can you call me back? And then sounds on my body, hello, that is breastfeeding, And so I've got that bond with my children, because I made out the time to do so.
And now, it's so touchy what you've just said. Can we look at whether there are some implications or effects negatively that this could have when a man lives separate from the family and as such not performing his fatherly responsibilities? What do you think are the effects this could have on the family?
Well, you find out that if you live away from your family, 9 out of 10 times when you come home, the wife now tells you what this one has been doing and how stubborn they've been. So you as the father now sit them down and begin to tell them why they shouldn't do what they're doing. Now, by the time you go, they now see you as the man that makes them unhappy. Because all this while, the wife actually hasn't actually told them off. Most women leave it for the man to do the telling off. So you do the telling off, and actually if you try to, beat the child, the same woman will come and say, come, that's enough now. Yes. So the child now begins to see you as the bad man in the family, and the mom, the one that protects.
That should not be.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the case.
And that will bring us into educating our children. Because in spite of what the bishop said, he said the parents, especially the father, should look inwards and see that the children are well educated. Now, but in our modern time, they find out that the men are there chasing wealth, chasing things to take care of the family, whereas they relegate this teaching of a thing to the wife. Is it an ideal situation in the family?
You see, I think it is only the man who doesn't look at the day after tomorrow that will do that. Because if you look at how far we've come and where we are today, and then you look at your own family, your mother, your father.
Let's see who is there. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Good morning. Go ahead.
You find out that most of us, men and women, we are more in tune with our mothers than our fathers. And then if you go down memory lane, you find out that this is the reason why, because your mom happened to be closer to you than your dad was. So for you to now correct that, you find out that, bringing money home is not just enough. That is not bringing a child up. That's more than that. So that when you grow old, your child should be able to look after you. But 9 out of 10 times, I would say in the olden days, because now I believe that we're making headway in that area. Men are beginning to learn to participate fully in bringing up their children. And then if you realize also, like I said before, that so many women either intentionally or unintentionally do not tell their children the positives coming from their fathers, then you have to buckle up and actually play your full part, so that the day after tomorrow, your children will love you as much as they love their moms.
I would like to take us back a little bit. There was something I was trying to share before we started watching the clips on the TV. I was in a seminar where the teaching was actually on managing our finances. So one woman stood up and asked one important question that the teacher during the seminar was emphasizing on the men, concerning finances. And the man had to answer that it is the responsibility of the man to take care of the family. Everything. So I would like us to really spell out this responsibility as well for our people. Because in some families, you find out that there are some men that relegate this responsibility to their wives, maybe because the wife is working and earning money, and now the man bequeaths all the financial responsibilities or major financial responsibilities to the woman. How do you see that, or how do you react to that?
Well, I remember reading in the Bible that man who is not able to provide for his family is worse than an infidel.
It's a sin.
So it is sinful. And I believe that man will go to hell.
Sorry. Let's see if the person says the same thing. Hello. Okay, go ahead.
So it is the natural duty of a man to prove. If Abraham wasn't providing for Sarah, I'm sure Sarah wouldn't be calling him Lord. So you have to earn the position of being a father. For as long as you drop these responsibilities to the wife, you automatically become the wife. Being a male gender notwithstanding, it's not about being male. It's not enough for you to be a father. So for as long as you're not carrying out the responsibilities, or the cause, or if it's yours, or such, so being a father, for as long as you're not meeting up with these responsibilities, where you can, it's a different ball game. You will only get whatever kind of job to bring food home and make provision for your children. For as long as you're not doing that, then you're no longer a father. The woman becomes the man of the house, and you should sit down and listen to her instructions.
And what actually happens, when the man, or when the woman earns more than the man, or the man, just like you said, immorally, child. But for the meantime, some women may abuse the man simply because he's not bringing home money or food. How would you?
For as long as there's a good reason, maybe ill health, temporary loss of job, then you would expect that if this man had been making provisions over the years, that history has to be there. It doesn't matter how much your wife earns, the Lord has placed you there as the prophet of the house. And for you to maintain that position of being the prophet, he can provide the food, shelter, clothing. If the woman can always help it is. She shouldn't be the one at the forefront. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, drop at this position. They are for the time being. I mean, a friend of mine was telling me, Nadia Nakata lose all in Abuja. They lose the job. He's an accountant by profession. If I'm a potato to Musia Kamunye, or just draft in area. Suddenly he became area father. So the woman woke him up one day at 5:30 in the morning and said, I'm not doing this with you. Or second, if I see you learn a better junction, you listen to number another. Umaka saying no. For you to maintain that thing that makes you a man.
Okay, on the contrary, assuming a man after providing for the family, he comes back home, the woman is busy preparing everything, the man sits on the sitting room reading newspaper, not giving attention to the rest of the thing that is happening there in the family. Is it healthy?
No, it is not healthy. Because how tired are you really? That you will sit down. If the woman is making preparation of the food in the kitchen, how about you go in there and help out?
Good. So is it a quality of a good father to help the woman?
Yes, it is the quality of a good father. Or look after the children while she's doing that. Take the children to the back garden and play with them. That is the bonding I'm talking about. The Lord of the manor. And then why I know seen the knife chief and us. Yes, the woman hasn't been busy all day, but looking after children is a full-time job. It is a full-time job. So when I say now full-time housewife, full-time housewife is actually a full-time job. For her to look after the children all day.
Okay, look at this one. He's taking care of the baby. Maybe the mother is.
Well, she's in the kitchen.
Yes.
That is so wrong. And then you expect to be called my Lord the day after tomorrow. You haven't ended.
All right. The program is still Good Morning, Anambra. We are celebrating our fathers today, as fathers all over the world celebrated Father's Day yesterday. Please, there is room for you to call and make your own contribution, and of course, celebrate a father that you have. The numbers are on your screen.
Okay, let's on the theme of this celebration. It said positive male role model. Now,
I think we have to take this call. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that. Go on.
So who is actually a role model father?
A role model father is that person that provides both financially and morally.
Okay, can we add the last one you said, helping the family, making the bond to stand?
It's all encompassing. The morals. Because in doing this, you're teaching your son how to marry his wife the day after tomorrow. You're teaching your daughter how to marry the husband the day after tomorrow. Children learn more from what we do than what we say. You cannot say something different and do something different. In my house, I wash up after eating.
Do you?
Yes, I do. When I've eaten with my children, I take the plates to the kitchen and I wash up while they are drying the plates up. In doing that, I'm teaching my son that you don't just leave the job for your wife, because she's human as well.
Let's see this on the screen. I think what's going on there, the man is playing with the child, something like that, and it's all
about bonding. It's all about bonding, you know. So, but what we tend to do, until recently, I should say, because I believe so many of my friends, you know, they've learned this. What we used to do before now is come back from work. Well, from work, you go straight to where you eat fresh fish. And then you come back and expect madam to give you warm food. Meanwhile, she's been looking after the children all this while. And even if she does do that, you're actually not doing yourself any favors. You're not. Because as far as the children are concerned, this woman is the one that is providing tender loving care for everybody at home, both themselves and yourself. So you're being looked after as well by your mom as far as they're concerned, by their mom. So invariably, the day after tomorrow, when they grow up, they don't see you as someone that looked after them. You never bonded with them. They see their mom as the person that looked after you and after them as well. So you are one of them. You are one of the children, actually.
Let's see if we can take this. Go. Hello, good morning. Hello, we lost that. All right, for a way of the summary, you know, why do we really need to celebrate our fathers? And what's your advice to fathers out there? Because most of the things you're saying, you know, doesn't really paint the picture of men in Nigeria. I must
that
say.
Is difficult for them to.
Honestly.
Do you still have time for this? Let's see who's there. Hello. Okay.
All right, let's go.
So, we have a lot of good fathers, I must tell you. My father was one of them. I learned from him. There are quite a few fathers who help out in every way, you know. But what I would say is that men should sit up even more and participate more in the upbringing of their children, not just providing money and shelter, but a lot more by being role models, positive role models to their children.
All right, I think that's the much you can take on this segment, celebrating our fathers. And we pray that God will continue to give you the grace to be the father, the role model that you ought to be as a father. We must appreciate you this morning, Honorable Hubert Oragui, for coming on the show. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and actually, this is where Good Morning Anambra show for today terminates. Until tomorrow, I remain Nonye Mokoye.
Well, my name is Theophilus Okoha, saying join us again tomorrow for another interesting outing.